Hey everyone, I'm going to show you guys how to do a boy's haircut today. So here is my clipper set. You can get a clipper set pretty much anywhere. I have 5 attachments, 0 through 5. A pair of scissors, a comb, and a trimmer. I'm going to attach the largest attachment that I have. I actually just used a 4 here. And I'm going to go through and just start cutting until the clipper leaves the head. So each attachment will go flat against the head, and then it will stop, and that's where you want to stop cutting. You don't want the clipper head to be at an angle at all. So when it stops, you just go up the head. So you're going to go all the way around, and you're going to kind of stop at where the crown is. So you're kind of making a line from like the corner of the top of the forehead all the way around. See right there? That's the line that you're looking for. And we're going to blend that line out afterwards. So you're going to take this and go all the way around the head with that first set. And for him, I'm using a 4. And you can start with a bigger clipper size if you want to, depending on how long the hair is. If the hair is extremely long, you may have to cut some of it with scissors before you start clippering it. Not all clippers are strong enough to go through really, really thick or long hair, especially the ones that you get just right off the shelf. So next I'm going to use a 3, and I put my 3 on, and I'm going to go around, and I'm going to clipper until it comes off the head. So I'm not following the head all the way around with the clipper. I am just clippering until it comes off the head. So straight up. So as soon as it comes off and it stops cutting hair, straight up, all the way around. You don't have to really worry too much about the ears, around the ears, because we're going to get those with the smaller clipper. So the next one I'm going to do is this is a 2. So I'm going to go all the way around with the 2 until it comes off the head. When you go around the ear, you can kind of go at an angle because you're going to take away all of that hair around. You can always take more hair off if you need to. Just remember, you can't put it back. So you can see I'm clippering just off his head, never going farther than what the clipper wants to go, keeping that flat part flat on his head the whole time. So now I am at a 1, and I'm going around on the bottom part of his head, just on the very bottom around the edges, and just until it comes off. When I get to the ear part, I'm going to angle my clipper around the ear and just go a little bit, and you'll notice that the top of my clipper, when I angle it, isn't even touching the head. So see, I'm going to go around and do the other side. Now I'm ready to cut the top. I'm gonna spray his hair with water. It's easier to work with his hair on the top if it's a little bit wet. So I spray his hair thoroughly with water on the top. You do not want to cut wet hair with a clipper unless you have wet clippers, which are very expensive, and most of us don't have them in their home. I do not have them in my home. I do not cut wet hair with clippers. So wait to wet the hair until you're done, and use your comb and comb everything down kind of where it wants to fall. So I'm going to show you a scissor over comb because it's a little bit easier. So you're going to start with the angle of the comb kind of angled away, and you're going to cut with your scissors so that you're using the comb as your guide to where you want to cut. So this is just blending that line from where the clipper stopped to where we hadn't cut any hair. If you find it helpful when you're all done with the haircut and you're all done with the clipper over comb or the scissor over comb, you can go back with the clippers with like a 4 and just clean everything up around the edge where you're blending to make sure that it's all blended. So I check by combing the hair down, so I comb it up and then I comb it down. And I come up here and then I comb it down to make sure it looks good. So I'm just going to continue to cut, and you want to kind of cut around the head, so you're going in the shape of the head. I'm going to leave his hair longer in the front. You do not have to do that with this style. You can definitely cut it shorter, and you could even clipper the top if you wanted to instead of doing scissor over comb with like a bigger clipper. But here I am leaving the top. So I'm just kind of starting this haircut with the clipper, with the comb over with scissors, and then afterwards I will show you how I cut with scissors. I'm going to repeat on the other side. So now I'm going to take a piece from the top and I'm going to hold it up and cut it. Now you see I'm cutting the hair in sort of the shape of a half circle, right? I'm connecting this bottom piece to this top piece. I want it a little bit longer on the top, so I'm connecting those sides to the sides. And you can see where my guide is, where I'm cutting to that previous shape. So see where my short hair is, and I'm cutting it to long. And I'm going to continue to do this all the way forward so that I'm connecting those sides. Now for this front piece, he wants this area to be a little bit longer and he likes to push it to the side. His hair is pretty straight, so I do have to leave it longer so that he's able to do that. I'm wetting the front and combing it all forward, and I'm going to make sure that it is not just a straight across cut, so I'm going to point cut this. Please be very careful that you don't cut your fingers in this because it's pretty easy to do that. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut in a relatively straight line, but I'm point cutting to kind of make the edge of that hair look a little bit jagged and not so straight across. And I didn't cut much because he wants to leave that piece a little bit longer. Now I'm going to cross-check my haircut. So that means I'm going to hold up the hair in the opposite way and take out all the little imperfections that I missed so that it's completely even both ways. He wants his hair longer in the front, so it's a little bit more angled than the top. I'm not going straight all the way down. And I don't want to create any holes around his temples, so you just want to make sure that you're cutting that appropriately. So here I'm going to use my edger. You can use a beard shaver, trimmer, and I'm going to trim around his neck and around his ears. Here's the final product. I put a little bit of pomade in his hair and blow dried it for him to the side. Thanks guys for watching.